So, the tools needed for rough disassembly: 5/32 Allen, what was that, 7/8 socket, 9/16 socket, 9/16, pair of snap ring external pliers. Yes, these are the cheapies, and something to pry with. What I'm using for disassembly, this blue thing up underneath, is a lid off of one of those Tupperware totes, and I like it because it kind of keeps any oil contained, helps keep parts contained. You got little semi compartments. Yeah, I broke those loose a minute ago off camera. Now, let's see how this does. I'm going to set you down and see what we get. This is just the seal for the shaft. And here's the bearing. This is what it looks like inside. Snap ring is right here. We've got to get this off before the housing comes off. You'll notice the housing has two sides, a rounded side and a webbed side. The webbed side goes on top, or else your direction is reversed. It's 180 degrees off. You'll put this on if you've got the housing upside down. You'll push your lever forward to go forward, and you'll go backward at a high rate of speed. But that's another story for another time. That was fun finding out. Right, we're going to take these we're going to take the snap ring off and these 4 screws off. We'll set you down, and hopefully you can follow along. Nine 9/16 wrench. Flip it over where you guys can see. Yep. Now I'll go ahead and let you know, I'm not a machinist, mechanic, hydraulic guy, or anything special like that. That's a 5/16 Allen. I've just been taking things apart for about 30 years and putting them back together, and sometimes they work. Got a philosophy, you know, it's already broke, so let's try and fix it. You can't make it much more broke than what it is. Now we all know you can turn a simple problem into a major problem by trying to fix something simple. But that's how you learn. You overcome, and but I'm going to be careful here because I want to see the gasket. Get my rubber mallet. Rubber mallet, also known as a dog chew toy. Okay, try something a little different. Now these inner gaskets, or this housing gasket is not available from Toro, who owns WheelHorse now. You can make your own gaskets. I did that on the last one. Gasket thickness is very important here. We'll get into that in a few minutes once we get it off. But there's a cylinder and piston assembly right here, and it's got a preload with a spring on it. And if you replace this gasket with one that's much more bigger, you change the dimensions and the clearances and everything. We'll have to resort to something a little bit different. The one I did on my D200 fell apart. Of course it hadn't. There. Whoop, nope. There. Hear the tone change? Now see, we got some movement here. Bearings trying to. That's high-speed bearing removal right there. Bearing feels good. Okay, whoop, right there. Well, we just ripped that gasket out of hell. And that's okay. Hey, we get to see the gasket for a change. Gasket's pretty simple, goes around here. Doesn't go up in these areas. Take my gloves off so I don't get my camera dirty. Honey Bunny will only kill me for a few things, and messing up her camera is one of them. In here is what's called the fixed swash plate, and it's kind of free floating in there. The oil has it sealed there to its mating surface. Now whenever it sits in there, it's at an angle, and it's like that. Let me get a side shot of that for you. And this is what lets you move forward and backwards with a piston-to-piston design on a hydrostatic transmission. Now, forget that this is a pump, a motor for a minute, and let's call it, this half up here is the pump. What happens is, that's neutral. You see, none of these pistons, all the pistons are level. They're not displacing, they're not moving oil. Those are the pistons right there. Whenever you move your control lever one way or the other, you're moving the swash plate. Now, as this spins, it's going to have oil trapped in this piston and cylinder assembly right here. And as it spins around, the piston is going to be forced down through the swash by the swash plate. And as it's forced down, that oil is going to go and be transmitted, and that pressure is going to be transmitted through the fluid to the other end, which is the motor. Now, ta-da, this is a motor with a fixed swash plate. It comes in and it pushes against this one. And because we have a fixed angle in here, it's going to spin one way or the other. It's going to basically try and go uphill. Swash plate looks real good. Sorry, let me get it on camera. Looks real good. You see it's not a mirror finish on either side. The interior looks pretty good there also. Now these particular ones, they're a little bit more primitive than the 15 series Sunstrand Hydros, which are found in more of the 80s model. Your John Deere's, Massey Ferguson's, the 16, 18, 1650s. That's where you find the Sunstrand 15 series. These, the manuals warn, do not remove the pistons from the cylinder because they are individually matched. These are the slippers because they slip around the swash plate. They look in good shape. The little hole right here, yeah, that needs to be free in each one and clear, because that's going to put a little bit of oil on that swash plate and give us a nice oil film there. Right here is our valve plate for the motor. We're going to have to pull this piston assembly, so I'm going to turn you off and set you down for now.